guys? Welcome back to my life journey with Kiabetsu Mahali. If you're a new subscriber, welcome, baby. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, my day ones. So, guys, on today's video, I'm going to talk about failure. So, if you didn't watch my last video, please go and watch it. That's when I did mention that I'm going to talk about failure, and I did mention that it was easy. Okay, let me just say, for me, it was easy for me to accept failure when no one knew about it, but it was very hard for me to accept failure when everyone around me knew that I failed, So that's something that I can say that I struggled with, because I titled myself as someone who was a failure, for a longest time, until someone told me, and like we unpacked everything in my life, and she was like, no, but yeah, you did fail, and you did rectify your mistakes, and you did do this and that. So I'm going to tell you the first time I experienced failing in front of everyone. So when I was doing my last year, which was 2015, I fell pregnant. So so I was doing my final year and I was 21, and I fell pregnant with my now husband. At that time, we started dating that year. So we started dating January, and August I fell pregnant. And guys, it was that transition was like very hard for me, because even that year I didn't pass like some of my modules. I failed 2 modules, so that means that I couldn't graduate the following year. I had to like do those modules first, and then I was going to graduate after that year. So it was just so tricky for me, and I didn't even, like, it wasn't even about the modules that I failed. Those ones were like, I will do them, I will pass them. But the fact that I was pregnant took me to another level. So let me share that tea with you. My experience with motherhood, transitioning from being a 21-year-old to being a mother. So what had happened was 2015 I fell pregnant. So 2016 I was home. I didn't go back to school because of financial reasons, and I was home, and that was the year I gave birth to my daughter. And let me tell you, the transition from being a young 21-year-old who was like partying, having fun, and like having to stay, because when you're pregnant you can't like go to groove and drink alcohol and do all those things that I was doing before. So that transition was very hard for me. I remember there was a time like during December time, because I went home during December time, and my friends were going out, and I was crying. I was home crying, and I was like, oh no, my life. And I remember my mother saying that, you chose to be a mother, so that means that your friends are gonna go out, and when are you going to stay at home? And it was very hard for me. Like, change is very hard. But if you getting, those were the consequences of like books before boys, because boys bring babies. So number one, we didn't listen when they told us that books before boys. We brought babies before degrees. And that, I believe that in my head. Now I can say it and laugh about it, but at that time in my head it didn't sit well. It made me feel like I failed myself. I didn't achieve the goals that I wanted for myself. Like dilo di chanchile. Like, my goal was that, okay, this year, yeah, I failed, but even if I do an extra year, it's fine. I'm still going to pass this thing, get my degree, all those things. And then the change. Now there's a baby. Now I can't go back to school. Now this, I had to adjust to being a mother. And let me tell you, when I was like, for those who don't have kids, ne? When you are pregnant, yes, there are things that you can like not do, but when the baby is here, the stress level will go higher. The stress level, because now it's not only about you. When you're pregnant, it's about you not being able to drink alcohol, not being able to go to other places that you want to go to, not being able to have fun and be a kid and be a 21-year-old. But when the baby is here, now we're like, one thing about babies, newborn babies, like their attention goes to them. All your attention have to go to them. It's no longer about you. It's no longer about what you want, but what the baby wants. So that thing, I think that's why most of us women, especially with our first kids, we experience postnatal depression, because that transition is very hard for you to accept that, okay, I have issues, but I have to put them aside and focus on this baby that is crying and focus on, everything is about them. When it's cold, you have to make sure that they are warm, even if when you're not warm. Everything is all about them, not you. And now I'm a mother. Now I need to learn how to be a mother. And now, at that time, I didn't want to be a mother. I wanted to be a 22-year-old Kia. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to finish my degree. I wanted to go and find work and like be a career woman. But at that time I made a choice to be a mother, and I had to be a mother. But let me tell you, if my mother was not there, I don't think I was okay. I was going to like go through that transition, but my mom made it easier for me, and the support of like my mother-in-law, my husband's family, my family, they made it easy for me. But not deep inside, I was like, this is so not what I want for myself. I couldn't accept that transition. I couldn't accept my new routine. Like I wanted like things to stay the same. I wanted life to stay the same. So I couldn't like do the new things. I felt like, oh, this is hard. Staying up all night is hard. Everything for me was very hard, and I was not happy in that season of my life. I was, can say, depressed. I don't know if I was depressed because I was not diagnosed, but I can say that I was not really happy. I felt like, oh my god, I lost myself. Who am I right now? I didn't know Kia as a mother. I only knew Kia as like a student, someone who just want to build her career. Because at that time I felt like, what am I doing? How am I going to even support this child? I brought someone to to this world, and I can't even support them. I don't even have a degree to say that let me go and find a job or do something so that I can provide for her. It was so many emotions, and yeah, it was so many emotions. And I remember when, like, 2022, when I was seeing a therapist, and I told her about the story, that because she could see that I don't acknowledge the things that I have achieved in my life. I was like, I feel like a failure. I didn't even know why I felt like that, because like at that time I had my degree and my honors degree and all that, but I still had that feeling inside of me that I am a failure, because I didn't even work on it. That time where I was like, I'm going back to school. I didn't work on it. I just changed my situation. I didn't like work on those emotions that I was feeling at that time. So when I was seeing a therapist, that's when I wanted to like unpack all these emotions that were inside of me, and I wanted to like understand, oh, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like I'm a failure, even if when things are going well in my life, they're not perfect, but they are going well. And she was like, and I told her that, the first time I felt like I was a failure was when I came home with pregnant, and I at that time I failed some modules, so I didn't graduate, and I was home. Like my life changed, and everyone could see that life change. People would ask me, when are you graduating? Those questions, when are you graduating? It's like, I'm a mother now, I'm not graduating. Now for me, I felt like life was not moving because I didn't want to move in motherhood. And like sometimes, guys, that's something that I was saying on my last video, that we need to accept the seasons that we are in. If this season you have to be a mother, be a mother. But when I became a mother, I didn't really appreciate the season that I was in. I saw that season as failure, even if it was a blessing. My daughter, like, how babies are, they will smile in everything, they will like make you laugh, they will just give you this comfort, man. They will give you kisses and hugs and all those things. And yeah, and I needed to just focus on that, on those kisses and hugs and smiles, free smiles. You're not doing anything, but someone is smiling at you and giving you a hug and kissing you. I made a choice to be a mother, and let me tell you, right now I am so grateful that I had my baby. I'm so grateful that I am her mother, because that child like brings joy, and like she brings so much for me, and I've learned so much about myself, from being a mother, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, guys, so if maybe, Luena, you feel like you are a failure because that's what society or people around us says, or you're not working, or whatever season that you are in, and you feel that pressure from the outside, you're not doing good, you're not doing great, you're failing, your whatever that you're starting is a failure or something. Just know that that is just a season. That is just, what, I've also had to learn that, in every season, whether it's a failure or a good moment, there's something to learn from it. And from my failure, what I thought that was a failure, I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about being a mother and being in, like, having to transition. I wouldn't have knew that in life, like, I will always transition to be someone else, someone else that I didn't even think I was gonna be, or I didn't even expect to be. So yeah, man, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. If you are in a season that you didn't think that you will be in right now, just know that there's something that God is teaching you in that season. And yeah, just be teachable. Be teachable. Learn something from there. But yeah, guys, you are not the only one who's failing. Just because your failure is out there and anyone can see that your life is not your life is not moving in that direction, don't title that season in your life as failure, you know. So yeah, guys, let me go and finish cooking for my husband. I will see you on the next video next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm sure I will come up with some good topic. I will have to think, Corey, from this, where can I take the conversation to? But yeah, please let's continue with the chat in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't liked the video. And yeah, just leave a heart if you don't have anything to say. Just leave a heart so that I can see that you are watching this and you did really get something from this conversation. So, okay, love you. Bye.